Hi, I'm Margo Sorum with Yoga Therapists of Alaska, and today we're going to do partner work. So I have a beautiful partner. This is Miss Maia. And we're going to get started. And the best partners to have when you do team people up, height matters. So Maia and I are kind of perfect heights for each other. And of course you can do the best assimilation, but sometimes I'll just have students line up and then just partner up with the person that's the closest height next to them. And then that way it eliminates friends pairing up with friends, and it gives a little diversity to the room too. So you're gonna have your partners face each other, and they can introduce themselves if they don't know each other. Hi. Hi, Mike. And then we're gonna take the right hand, and we're gonna do the Superman handshake. So that's at the wrist. So you're kind of shaking their wrist, and then you're gonna walk away from them, and you're gonna hinge. So take the butt back, and you're going into this forward fold. Your other free hand maybe goes to your sacrum, and you're letting them pull on you enough. So I might ask Maia to pull a little more. Okay, that's too much, pull a little less. Oh, that's the Goldilocks spot. Perfect. And you let them give you the right amount of tension for a good stretch. 2 breaths. And then hinge, lift the chest back up. You'll need to maybe walk towards each other, and we do the other side. And Maia and I are definitely doing this so we can get our bodies even. Take the hand to the sacrum. Feel that the butts are the furthest thing back. Maia and I are keeping our knees straight to get the hamstrings. Let them pull on your arm to get that latissimus dorsi, serratus anterior muscles. And then hinge your way back up. Good. And then we're gonna Superman hold. One of you needs to be under and one needs to be over, and you hold the wrists again. So Superman grip, walk away from each other, and get into this really lovely forward fold. And it's a half forward fold, and again, I'm not gonna pull Maia over and she's not gonna pull me over, but we do have to kind of pull on each other. So let your weight go in your heels, Maia, a little more. Yeah, okay. And now we get this good traction. Oh, does that feel good?
Yes.
Breathe into your back. Good, and then use your partner hinge and come up. And then keep holding onto their hand, and we're gonna face you. And we do hold over, under, whatever feels natural, and move away from them a little bit so you get tight. And then lean away from them. So notice my right hip is going out and Maia's left hip is going out. We're gonna lateral bend. Oh. And again, you have to use a little bit of tension. Maia's catching me and I'm catching her. Good, and then lower that back down. Turn and face the other way. Superman, hold your friend. Hips go away from each other. And let them lean away. Pull a little more, Maia. Oh yeah, here we go, perfect. You'll get more with a partner, oftentimes, and then let that go. And then just let them feel that for a moment, that wow, they have this residue and this awareness of how deep they went with their partner into finding their muscles and how to stand in their bones. Okay, we're going to come down to kneeling, and we're gonna do our own pose for a moment. We're gonna get ready for this elbow balance. So we're gonna be on our forearms, interlace your fingers, have your shoulders and elbows stacked. Turn your toes under and then get your hips up high, 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 high. Your head hangs, but notice I can do a yes nod. It's not touching the floor. And then walk your feet in as close as you can. Your hips go as high as they can. Anterior pelvis if you can. 2 breaths here. And then slowly make your way back down to your knees. And then Maia's gonna kind of stay here. And we're gonna use partner help. And you're gonna use your feet. So I'm gonna put my feet onto Maia's shoulder blades like hands. And once she feels me there, she's going to know she can lean up and into her pose. So she's gonna turn the toes under and come up. Her head is hanging. And then she walks towards me. And she starts to get the hips up higher. She finds anterior pelvis. And she's gonna just work and use me as a prop. I'm also staying propped. Now very slowly you communicate, and I'm going to take away one foot and then my other, and you're going to hold your best shape possible, and it's going to be hard for them because they're not used to working that much on their own, but it's going to start to train them too. 2 breaths. Whew. And then she's going to come down and rest, and she's going to do child's pose. She gets a break. And then the other person would get ready to do the pose. Good. But then we're going to do another set of poses. We're going to come onto our own hands and knees again, kind of be stacked, and we're going to come into a plank. And in plank pose, we want the hips high enough, the rib cage broad, protracted shoulder blades, and that you're in a really nice stick. Yeah. Good. And then you come back down. Good. And then Maya is going to walk forward a little bit so we can be in the frame. Yeah. And then she's going to be on her hands and knees. Before she goes into the pose at all, I'm going to put my hands on her trapezius up here between her neck and her shoulders, and she's going to lean into me. And she's going to feel this leaning forward as she takes one leg back and then the other, and she's going to come into her plank, and she's going to use me. She's going to lean into me. Yes. Walk your legs back a little bit more, Maya. Oh yeah, and then lean into me. Okay, good. Okay, she's going to work a lot. She's going to think of leaning forward. I'm going to come, and she's going to lean up into me. So she's leaning up. Oh yeah, a little more. Oh yes. She's trembling. That's good. She's doing this right. She's leaning forward, she's leaning up, and then she's going to press back into the support of my hands. And she's going to do all 3 of those things, forward, up, and back. And it's going to make her work more than she normally does in her plank. Is that true?
Yes, it is.
Good. And then rest. She's going to do child's pose. We're working our way towards handstand. Handstands are my favorite inversion because they're really safe for the neck. You have this open frame where you're not fixing yourself. So they're very safe for most people. The contraindication is sometimes for shoulders, and students who have really tight hamstrings might have a hard time getting up and over into the handstand. The next pose we're going to do is a partner pose, and it's in fact harder than a handstand, but it's going to train the strength and the confidence for the handstand. Yeah. So you can measure this, maybe legs out, and then come onto your hands and knees, or maybe even just putting your feet at the wall and your hands here will give you a good basis for where you need to be. And then Maya is going to partner me. She's going to be in front of me, and she's going to put her feet onto my shoulders, kind of like I did earlier when we did the elbow plank.
The elbow, yes.
Yes, the elbows, perfect. I'm going to come into my downward dog. I'm going to lean into her. And she's holding me so much that I could actually let go of my hands, but don't ask your students to do that. But they do need to push and hold you, because she's a wall for me. Then I use the wall as a partner too, and I don't just jump. I lean into the wall and into Maya. And that's going to hold me here really easily. If I'm confident and my elbows stay straight, that's the real key. Keep your elbows straight. Maya's going to move away one foot.
Move my right.
Yeah. And the other.
Moving my left.
Yes. So I'm going to stay as if I'm pushing against Maya and the wall. Now what I often see is this, that people let go and they bend. So you really do have to kind of lean into that imaginary partner and into the wall. And then you push into the wall to safely step yourself down. And then that's a big wrist move. So let's work out the wrist just a little bit. A little flexion and extension for your wrists. And we can make some wrist circles as well. At the end of the sequence, you may want to do a little bit more individual finger stretching and pressing forward and down with each finger individually to work out and stretch those fingers. So be sure when you do a lot of wrist work that you give some stretch strengthening. Another good one is kind of here, here, and on top of the hands. So that's fast and furious. But be creative and take care of their wrists. One more that I really like is coming to Anjali Mudra and then doing wrist circles where the wrists are kissing each other the whole time and the other way. This is that circumduction for the wrists. Okay, then they're ready to do this by themselves. So So they've just practiced with a partner how to do the handstand on the wall. And then you have them do it like they're walking. So they come into their downward dog. One leg comes up. They push into their imaginary partner to come up. They take that foot back down and step. And then they go up with the right foot, down with the right foot, up with the left foot, down with the left foot. And they just practice walking up the wall. Then it gets exciting. They could start to do a walk up the wall. Some of your students might be able to kiss the wall. I don't trust myself today. And then they can walk all the way out and into a plank pose on the wall. And it's hard. And they could do plank walk-ups and down. So they can do their L shape and then their push-ups. And it's really confidence building. All right, then we're ready to start to turn this all the way into a handstand. And we do kick-ups. So we come to about 3 inches away from the wall. You're in a downward dog, but it's a short dog. And in fact, walk forward into more an uttanasana and get up on your toes. And then this is about pumping and kicking. And you just practice that as a little kick up. And you do, I call them bronco kicking. So you're gonna ask them to bronco kick the wall, and maybe they end up kicking so much that they can go over. We want them to practice with the other leg too, because of course we're always dominant in these. And sometimes you could do handstand one way, but not the other. And then we're up in our handstand, and balancing, and coming down. And then we hang in a forward fold. And we rest. Handstands are wonderful inversions. They are definitely antidepressants. So sometimes if I'm sluggish in the morning, I'll be like, oh, I need a little bit, I don't drink coffee. Believe it or not, I don't drink coffee. But I sometimes will do some handstands. Just kick up and down and enjoy that extra work. It's nice to lead up with a warm-up, doing spinal floss, or with a little bit of a cool down and doing spinal floss at the end. But this is a nice way to do some partner work. One other thought for partner work is to make a big circle that everyone interlinks. So I'm going to invite Maya back. Perfect. And you'd link up with the whole class in a circle. And you'd lean into your left leg and swing your right leg forward and back. And we'll just be mindful of the wall. And it's automatically going to make this easier because they have the support of the person next to them. It's really nice. And then you might invite the leg to come up and stay up. You might kind of open up a little bit more with your partners. And then you're going to tip into warrior 3. And your hand is kind of on their shoulder, and the wall's right there to help us too. Yeah. And then you can come back down. And of course, you then do it on the other side. So let's step forward just a little bit, Maya, and we'll do our left leg. And then we hold it up. And then we take it back. And you can get super creative with this and do a bunch of poses linked together in a vinyasa, but all in a big circle for partner work. It's really beautiful. And then face your partner, and we're gonna do this one final thing, and they'll think it's super cheesy, but it's really cute. So I'm gonna do it to Maya. She's never seen me do this before. You are amazing. And she can do it to me.
You are amazing.
And if you really want to stretch them, you say, and that's what I love about you.
Oh, that's what I love about you.